Check TCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. You can also trade your Pokemon bulk for a new Sun.
How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, I'm gonna play with Mega Gyarados-EX. So Mega Gyarados, 220 HP water Pokemon with a weakness on the lightnings, of course, and retreat 2 energies with Blast Gazier attack. So this is powerful attack. So for 4 colors energies, Blast Gazier based attack is going to be 120, but we can add 20 more damage counters for each water energy attached to Gyarados, and in that way, if we want to do that, we need to discard also the top 2 cards of our deck. Theoretically, we can go for like 200 plus, depending on how many water energies we will have on Mega Gyarados, which means that we can go for one hit knockout against any Pokemon in play. I'm also running some backup attackers like Glaceon-EX and Tauros-GX, simply because with the Tauros I can counter Giratinas, I can counter Regis, I can counter Glaceon-EXs. On the other side with the Glaceon, I can even buy some time with the Crystal Ray if I don't have enough resources to attack with Mega Gyarados. And of course, Palkia is here just for the energy acceleration. 14 Pokemon, 34 training cards and 12 energies, 60 cards in total. I'm running 2 Shaymins and 1 Hoopa also for the setup. And Manaphy is here with that Aqua Tube, so I can have for retreat with my Pokemons in play as long as I have water energy attached to them. Item list is one very interesting list to talk about. So I'm running 2 copies of Energy Switch. Why? Simply because if I start with the Palkia in the active position, and if I go second on turn 1, I can attach 1 energy from my hand manually to Palkia, I can play 1 Max Elixir, and if I get lucky, I'm gonna be able to attach energy to one of my benched Pokemons. And then if I can find somehow Energy Switch, I can simply move that energy to my Palkia and use my Aqua Turbo turn 1, so I can have 2 more energies attached to my Gyarados. Turn after that, either way with the Mega Turbo or with the double course energy from my hand, of course Mega Turbo and 1 energy, or double course energy from my hand, I can have my Blast Gazier ready for 120 or 160 or even 180 with Professor Kukui, or even 200 or 220, depending on how many energies we're gonna have. 4 Max Elixirs, 2 Mega Turbos, of course, for that extra energy acceleration. 1 copy of Super Rod, very important to recycle resources like energies or Pokemons. Only 2 copies of Trainers Mails. There's a reason why I can't have more than 2 Trainers Mails, because I decided to add 2 Mega Turbos and 2 Energy Switches. But for example, you can cut Mega Turbos and you can always have 4 Trainers Mails instead of 2 Trainers Mails and 2 Mega Turbos and 2 Energy Switches. But sometimes Mega Turbo will just be very useful. 4 copies of Ultra Balls, of course, same as the 4 copies of Seeker, so you can have something for Pokemon search, and of course something to grab those supporter cards from the discard pile and put them into our hand. Supporter line, of course, is long as usual. I'm running 1 copy of the Hex Maniac, simply because I can shut down all abilities in play. It's very important, especially against item lock decks. 1 copy of Lysandre, 3 copies of N, so both players will shuffle their hands and drop the same amount of the cards for each prize they actually have. 1 copy of Ninja Boy, simply because with the Ninja Boy, I can from nowhere surprise my opponent with that Tauros-GX and simply win the game, of course. I can only swap between my basic Pokemons. I can't swap my Mega Gyarados into my Tauros or any other Pokemon. But what I can do is, for example, swap my, let's say, Tauros-GX into the Gyarados, and then I can attach Spirit Link and then Mega Evolve, and then I can have, for example, Mega Gyarados in play. 1 copy of Olympia, simply because I even want to have extra switch just in case if my opponent can lock me somehow with Gardevoir or something like that. 1 copy of Professor Kukui, so I can draw 2 cards and does 20 more damage with my active Pokemons in play. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, discard hand, draw 7, pretty much no need to talk too much about it. 3 copies of Gyarados Spirit Links, so I can evolve into my Mega Gyarados without ending my turn. 12 energies, 2 of them are going to be double course energies, and 10 of them are going to be just a regular water energy cards. As you can see, this deck list does not include Stadium, so if you want to play Stadium, you can always remove Mega Turbos, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and in addition to that, you can simply add either way Pearl City or either way Rough Seas. But I highly recommend to add Rough Seas, or maybe even some other stadiums, like maybe even I don't know, Shrine of Memories, but Silent Lab can also be good, just in case if you manage to set up, so you can prevent your opponent from being able to set up. But somehow Pearl City just does not make too much sense. If you're gonna play Ninja Boy, you don't need Pearl City in my opinion, because you can simply remove your Shaymins with Ninja Boy. The same thing will apply for the Hoopa. But if you just want to have that stadium, you can add Rapsies, but I find out that stadium actually will not help me too much. So I would maybe highly recommend just to remove maybe one Mega Turbo for extra Trainers Mail if you don't feel comfortable running 2 Trainers Mails, and if you want to have better consistency, and maybe just add one Delinquent, so you can simply discard any stadium for play in order to play stadium like Rough Seas, because healing 30 sometimes might be good, but you really want to have speed, and you really want to have turn 2 your Mega Gyarados ready for like 200 plus damage counters. That's the main focus with this deck build. And of course you can also have simply control with Glaceon and with Tauros-GX. So if you're looking for any of these cards, you're going to find them on TCGcastle.com. So you can also get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Make sure to check that. Also, you can trade your bulk for the upcoming Sun and Moon Guardian Rising sealed booster box. It's available worldwide, and also right now you can pre-order some of the latest Sun and Moon Guardian Rising cards. So make sure to check video description. You're gonna find links that will actually direct you to the CCG Castle store. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so waiting my opponent to flip the coin flip, so we can see who's gonna start first. So I want a coin flip, and I want to go first. Why not? Simply because I can have that extra turn for the setup. So not the best, definitely not the best start here. I'm starting with a Tauros, gonna play against fire deck. I mean, okay, at least I have that Ninja Boy sitting in my hand, so which means I can Ninja Boy my Tauros into Palkia. So that can always be good. Looks like I'm going to play against Volcanion-EX. So playing against Volcanion-EX, of course, you can have that extra advantage, but depend on Volcanion-EX deck type. That player might just include weakness policies, so they can simply negate weakness. Well, this is interesting. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't even attach that Spirit Link and simply Sycamore for 7. There we go. So there is one Palkia. More than that, I have Ultra Ball, I have Professor Kukui, and something like a double Colorless energy, which I'm not looking forward to discard. So I will just Ultra Ball into my Hoopa. Ultra Ball into my Hoopa. Then I'm gonna try to play my Max Elixir. There we go. So Hoopa for Manaphy, Gyarados, and one Shaymin-EX. At the end, I'm gonna trade my Tauros here with my Ninja Boy. I hope next turn for another Gyarados. So far, I will try to play and set up my Shaymin for extra cards. I mean, couple for 4 extra cards, not bad, especially if I can find maybe another Max Elixir here, and I'm gonna be able to find another Max Elixir. But for now, I'm gonna just pass my turn. And I'm just gonna keep my Tauros in the front. Why? Because if my opponent, with some crazy miracle, can somehow do enough damage counters for the one-hit knockout, or maybe somehow power up his Volcanion turn 1, it's better to knock out my Tauros instead of just knock out my Palkia. So that's a Scorchy Dirt for 2 extra cards. There is one Trainers Mail, which was, oh, Max Elixir for nothing. Alright, so 2 Steam Ups. 1 Sycamore for 7. Fisherman and Lysandre right now available in my opponent discard pile. Another Trainers Mail. For Ultra Ball. Alright, so right now with the Ultra Ball, my opponent can grab himself maybe even Hoopa if he play one, of course. So 4 energies already in his discard pile. Also 1 random receiver discarded. Unfortunately, no sign of the Hoopa, just Shaymin. Alright. 1 more Max Elixir. Will there be right now energy? Looks like it's gonna be. So that's 5 energies right now in total played for my opponent. 4 in his discard pile, 1 on his Volcanion on the bench. Finally, there is a Flowstone and 1 more fire energy. He already added. Okay, so that's it. It's important to mention that my opponent was able to play 2 Steam Ups, and if he was a little bit more luckier than he was. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, never mind. Okay, just another Palkia here. Didn't want to see that. But I'm gonna be fine. I'm definitely gonna be fine. Let's just use that Energy Switch. So, if he was actually able to hit that 3rd energy with the Max Elixir, he would knock out my Tauros without too many problems, because then he would be able to go for like 190. I attack with my Mega Turbo for like a 80, managed to attach 2 energies to my Gyarados on the bench. There is Nest Ball for a baby Volcanion and 1 Fighting Fury Belt attached to him, so there is 1 Steam Up. And probably there's just gonna be, oh, N. Alright, surprisingly, he just decided to play N. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna get myself Mega Gyarados, but I don't simply see the sign of my... Alright, so Trainers Mail for another random receiver, so that's gonna be random receiver for N. I really need my Spirit Link. I really need my Spirit Link so I can start to attack with my Mega Gyarados. Meanwhile, until I manage to get one, I'm gonna just prepare my Palkia with some energies. So let it be just N. I don't want to waste my Super Rod yet. That's interesting. 2 Spirit Links, also 1 Max Elixir, 1 more energy. I'm not 100% positive how many energies I have left, so this is going to be 1 Ultra Ball, and it's going to be for my Mega Gyarados. I have 0 water energies left in my deck, which means only one thing. It's time to use that Beast Mode on Mega Gyarados, and it's time to attack with the Blessed Gazier. I don't need to discard my extra cards from the top deck, since I can go for 240 even without discarding a single energy. So there is Mega Turbo and Glaceon-EX. I have 2 water energies in my discard pile, and I have 1 double Colorless energy left in my deck. So, 4 Volcanions can actually add 120 extra damage. 120 plus 130 is more than enough for the 1-hit knockout, because that's like 250. Right now my opponent will have 3 Steam Ups, which will be 90 damage counters. I'm not 100% sure if he have also Nest Ball sitting in his hand, but if he have, I'm gonna be knocked out immediately with his volcanic hit. But of course he first need to have 5 more energies in his hand. So we shall see for how many damage counters this Volcanion-EX will be able to go. I mean, Volcanion is very powerful, very, very powerful. This is just escape rope. Well, let's promote that Palkia-EX with Spirit Link in front. simply because I can maybe top deck Mega Gyarados, but still I can't Mega Evolve from my Palkia to my Mega Gyarados. So I'm gonna get few steam ups here. Actually 3 in total. So this is gonna be actually 2. This is gonna be 90. Some energies are gonna be attached to his benched Pokemons. What a nice top deck. What a nice top deck this is. So this is my Lysandre for his Volcanion-EX, and looks like this is gonna be GG. I'm gonna use my Blast Gazier, and I'm also gonna discard 2 cards from the top of my deck, so I can go for like 400 damage counters here, which is just amazingly strong. Mega Gyarados and a Trainer's Mail. Unfortunately, I lost my Tauros with this move, and right now I'm not gonna be able to use my Ninja Boy to switch my Palkia into Tauros. Of course, I can do that, but first I'm gonna need Super Rod to recycle back that Tauros from discard pile into my deck. And this is just a power hitter for like a 60. Will there be maybe a Lysandre as the top deck with my Trainer's Mail? So Trainer's Mail for the VS Seeker, we shall see. Trainer's Mail for VS Seeker, and that's gonna be GG. So that's gonna be the GG, since I have my VS Seeker for another Lysandre, and unfortunately Mega Gyarados too strong for Volcanion-EX without weakness policy. But I definitely need to say only one thing. If my opponent was able to knock out my Mega Gyarados with his Volcanion-EX, if there was 4 Volcanions on his bench, I don't know, to be honest, how that game would end. So that's a GG. Alright, so I'm starting with the Tauros-GX, which is definitely not good, because I'm spoiling my opponent that I actually have Tauros-GX in my deck. I don't like that. So at least he helped me a little bit with that end, because the rest of the cards in my hand were just so damn bad. That end didn't help too much, so I'm just gonna play my Trainer's Mail, maybe for Ultra Ball, no, for the Professor Sycamore. But hey, to be honest, too many good resources in my opening hand to play them. To play that Lysandre Sycamore. Dang, look at this. Nothing. Just a water energy, and I'm passing my turn. This is just... I don't know what to say. I mean, okay. My opponent played N, he didn't get nothing. Then I play N, I didn't get nothing. Then I see him playing VS Seeker for another N. This is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. So, 3rd N in a row. Hopefully right now we are both gonna get much better cards. There we go. So this looks a little bit better. There's Ultra Ball, there's Energy Switch, there is Gyarados, and I must say that I like much more this hand. So Ultra Ball for 2 copies of Lysandres for my opponent. Well, that was very expensive. That was freaking expensive, and there is Shaymin-EX is gonna be set up for 4. I can probably expect to see Pearl City on my opponent's side. Maybe not, maybe yes, we shall see. So, even versed. Even versed. A Silent Lap and Oblivion Wing for like a 30. Okay, my friends. Not gonna be good. So, I'm gonna play my Ultra Ball for the Shaymin-EX and, you know, for the Mega Turbo. I'm gonna grab myself Palkia. I'm gonna put it down to the bench. Thinking maybe about playing that Energy Switch, moving energy down to my Palkia, maybe then getting Olympia, but probably that's not gonna happen. I'm only gonna draw 7 cards, and no freaking way, managed to pull that Olympia. Okay, fair enough. I mean, what else to say? what else to say? Not gonna do any damage right now to his Yveltal. We'll just attach 1 energy to my Palkia, and I'm gonna pass my turn. I mean, it's okay anyway. I wouldn't anyway play my Olympia probably at my next turn, so I'm just gonna attach my double course energy to my Gyarados, and no, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. If he strikes me for 61 more time, I'm even thinking about playing that Mad Bull GX, because it's gonna be perfect time to use it since I already used my Super Rod. I mean, second thing I can do is actually use Olympia and run down to my Palkia and use that Aqua Turbo, so I can, yeah, but I mean, V-Seeker for Lysandre, and he will probably be able to knock out my Tauros. I mean, if he's gonna be under 150 damage counters, that's gonna be okay. So let's just see, will there be any sign of the Max Elixir on those Darkrays? Oh, there's Escape Rope. Well, that's even better. That's even better. Well, interesting. Since I have Olympia, I'm probably gonna get, let me see, 20, 40, 60, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. Well, 90, it's a lot of damage counters. Really it is. 60 down to Olympia, and 90 it's 150. Well, let's go with the Palkia without energy card. I'm gonna definitely play that Olympia. Simply because I really don't want to give my opponent an opportunity to take 2 prize knockout without using that Lysandre. And that's very important. So there's gonna be Dark Pulse for 110. And after I use my Olympia, still if he has access to the Lysandre, he's gonna be able to knock out my Palkia on the bench, but he can't go for the knockout against my Tauros. So that's gonna be 1 Aqua Turbo. It's gonna be for 40. 2 energies will go down to my Gyarados. So 120, 140, 160. I'm gonna need 1 Mega Turbo and 1 more energy so I can. Oh no, Delinquent. Alright, well played. So I got strike by the Delinquent. I lost all 3 cards in my hand, and the top deck is gonna be Mega Gyarados, which is very nice top deck. So I can use my Aqua Turbo and I can strike for 40. In addition to that, I can add 2 more energies to my Mega Gyarados. So next turn I can go for the 1-hit knockout with my Mega Gyarados against my opponent Darkrai, which is gonna be good. Unfortunately lost all resources from my hand, and there's a V-Seeker for Professor Sycamore, probably, maybe even for the Lysandre. No, he decided to go with the Sycamore. Maybe Lysandre right now wouldn't be that bad option, simply because he could have the 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 160, like 170 onto my Mega Gyarados, and then just 1 hit, and then just knock it against him on his next turn, but decided not to do it. And still, if I top deck something like a V-Seeker, I can use the N. I can also maybe just top deck N. So the one thing is for sure, I'm gonna knock out his Darkrai, and turn after that I'm also gonna knock out 1 more Darkrai, and turn after that probably I'm gonna knock out 1 more Darkrai. So 2 copies of XP shares, that's 150. Alright, that's 150. How many Max Elixirs? Only 1. Alright, so Blast Gazier. Yes, I want to discard 2 cards from the top of my deck. It's a Energy Switch and the V-Seeker. I can go for 200. More than enough for the knockout. So my opponent can go for 150. I'm gonna get Ultra Ball and Glaceon-EX. So none of these 2 cards good. Ultra Ball can actually search me another Gyarados at least. So this is gonna be probably just 1 Oblivion Wing for like a 30 until he managed to set up Darkrai for the 1-hit knockout. So something like a Lysandre would be blasting from the sky. but I don't feel that's gonna happen. So there's a Trainer's Mail. Even versed, he can maybe somehow just... Let me tell you one thing. Top deck Ultra Ball for me, top deck Water Energy for me, I think is not bad, because I can, Hex Maniac. I can Ultra Ball for Manaphy and I can retreat down to my Tauros and then just strike. But he decided to promote the Darkrai in the front. Okay, not bad. Max Elixir is the top deck. Max Elixir is the top deck. So I'm gonna use the Max Elixir here. Not gonna find energy. So I can basically Ultra Ball here and set down my Gyarados. This might not be good, simply because I have one more Spirit Link. Well, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna strike for like 200. My Blast Gaze here. Manaphy discarded. Dang. So I'm not gonna have that access to the free retreat since my Manaphy is discarded. I couldn't set up my Hoopa for that Manaphy, unfortunately. But I'm gonna get 2 more cards from the prize cards. It's gonna be a Water Energy and a double Colorless Energy. So that's okay. Right now, he's probably gonna knock me out with that Oblivion Wing, maybe even with Baleful Knight, so he can spread some damage to my bench. But if he do that, this is definitely not gonna be good, especially if I'm gonna top deck something like Lysandre, because I can simply then go for the knockout with my Tauros-GX Mad Bull versus his Shaymin-EX. So it's a very close game here. It all depends on the top deck. It really all depends on the top deck. And there is no doubt about that I'm gonna promote my Tauros if he decides to knock me out with the Baleful Knight, but I don't know. Yeah, he decided to do that. He decided to do that, so he just gave me maybe a possible victory here. So it's all about that top deck. Lysandre for the win. Nope, just a Max Elixir. Alright, let's go with the Max Elixir. There's one energy card. He have Floatstone anyway. He have enough energies in play to go for the one-hit knockout, so basically all I can do is run to my bench and simply hope that he's not gonna be able maybe somehow to find a Lysandre. Well, yeah, that's crazy idea. That's really crazy idea, especially because I have like 6, 7, 8, 9 energies. Nah, it's not gonna happen. Anyway, I'm just gonna use my Mad Bull GX and I'm gonna knock out his Yveltal because I only have 1 remaining energy left. Even if I decided to retreat, probably that wouldn't be a good option. Wouldn't be a good option anyway. I don't know if he have access to the Lysandre. I see 3 V-Seekers and 2 Lysandres in his discard pile, but still, it was very close. Silent Lab Delinquent actually saves my opponent. Managed to take 5 prizes, but was short for the 1, so unfortunately it's a GG. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up or dislike if you didn't. Let me know what you think about this deck. So stay tuned for the more upcoming videos. Have a nice day till the next time. So goodbye.